Voyage to Warm Milk by the McBrides, a book. Copyright 2010 by Billy McBride. For a few days I reigned as king. I meant well, and I had a presence, and I thought it would last forever. For a few days in my kingdom on the hill, in these days I found that I meant well, and that I had the power to sway the actions of men, and I thought that it would turn into a lasting forever. When I was king, yes, a brave king, in these days it was awesome, and I thought that it would last forever as a poem. But it was a Merkabah experience. It was in time that I had everything of the whole. This was not common to me, and my imagination it activated in this sunny, wild, and earth-like land. For a few days in which I reigned in this strange world where I was ruler, it was not less than sublime. It appeared that I, beyond my own imagination, was in charge on this sunny, dreamy, and earth-like hill. Stranger than my home felt on earth, this strange world in which I was ruler, where everything alive appeared different to me, all of it was my kingdom. But I knew that it was earth, my own sunny earth. I watched it become put into motion, the Weather Channel. I saw that they quickly came to me all day long, the weather people to see me, the weather people did. And they were updating me in my apartment with the Weather Channel. The weather people, they knew and came to see me, and I knew all of the weather people, my royal group. I watched how, when I marked the Weather Channel, the weather people to me, they, in their calling, were predicting the weather. I found, O God, that like the weather, with help and means I could predict people's powerful behavior. That is the reason why they were there. To my surprise, were there for me to predict how people were, and therefore people here and there became like the weather. I at once had the power, and to me in reality, to my surprise, like a dart, the power came to help my kingdom do good. On my hill there was a fire at my apartment complex office, where people came to work, and after it, all happened to be safe. From the insurance money they collected, the complex was able to remodel the apartment's exterior walls. When they were working on our building, constructors, matching me in their liveliness, worked on what happened to be for months in the year. When they were working on our building, I was at home. When I was at home, they built and worked, while I happened to be outrageously at home the whole time. In that time it looked like a disaster, for they ripped it all up in my area. The siding came down, and they put up new siding from the old. It was like a disaster, I used to say, while they were playing their songs bothered me when they used an empty apartment above me for a workroom, as they put up new siding from the old. It looked like a disaster. The place was ripped apart in many ways. I saw how the gathering siding came down, and I was deadly scared of Nazism. It gave to my life's troubles one kind of fear, these horrible experiences, a fear which was strange, which I know, and my hope was to flee. It gave me a weird trouble, and when I look back on the outcome, I see that it was wrong. What happened, as locked up from a plague, know more and more that it was wrong. It gave to me a formal pain. Yet once during the construction, after my deadly fear, the trouble was ended, and that was when my Merkabah experience occurred. It is, in these words, a, quote, warm milk, end quote, sleepy experience to become king and ruler. It was, and came to be called, in my playfulness the strange experience of warm milk. It is warm milk, not golden mold, this land of my domination, and it was and came to be called in my reflections the strange experience of warm milk. It is called softly warm milk, this green land of my dominion, one of 14 afterlives, and the key is that it came to be called warm milk, a strange experience. They were unquietly above. The construction workers were then above me, unquietly using the empty room above me to work each day. Then a bad neighbor came, when the construction workers left. Above graved me, and drunk after much he moved into his home. All day, rain or shine, that neighbor above me unquietly stayed, in every weather, home. Joining them to his friends, he threw a fit to all of them. The bad neighbor complained that I was watching the Weather Channel too much. He was listening to me. Oh. To his friends behind my back, to all of them, the bad neighbor was talking about old me and listening to me. To his friends behind my back, he sought to throw a fit. The bad neighbor, the thin one, could hear me move around. When I was a high king, ruling from within doors was the one thing that I could do. I was, in the land, a knowing ruler with the ability to judge. By thinking of their names in my rule, I prophesied men's fates, and I was delighted that they gave me the present to rule, the ability to judge. By thinking of their names in my rule, I could intelligently tell people what to do, and they had to do much about it. In that place, there in my home, for those whom I saw or heard out of my window, for those who were the ones around, using my best experience, I passed my judgments in my reign. There in my home, for those whom I saw or heard out of my window, were judgments in my balanced rule over the souls, such here and there. In that place there were those whom I saw and heard out of my window who were bad for themselves, and I was in a position to judge with no deadline which I was on in my rule over souls. The many jobs which I had to do I found hope in. So I had realized I had to fight so that the humiliation of others would end. The job which I had to do I know and accepted to have, and I found I had come to a stagnant community to do good. The job which I had to do I did honorably in bliss. So the job I had was about an ordering to help others who were the victims of bullies. For others in the land my utter thoughts reigned. I have read the thoughts which were by myself organized. For others I have read the thoughts and names. Thousands of great books, authors, I read and organized anew. For others, mighty Harold Bloom asked fortunately, What do you want the characters to do in novels? So by having read thousands of great books, I organized. I knew some people, some friends who were bad for themselves. I saw how many people were for the moment bad in actions, but not in themselves. I knew some friends of mine were doing bad deeds, and I felt from my head to my feet like Prospero, ruling over people who were bad in actions, but not in themselves. I learned much from what to do from Shakespeare's Tempest. I actually, for a while, knew that I was Prospero, who ruled over people who were bad for themselves in actions, but not in themselves. To be judged by their appearance, everybody present and absent was so meant to be. I knowingly met others who had a destiny because of me. All were to be judged by their appearances within. It was time, and it was simply up to me to have, in my wellness, to verbalize their destinies within me. All men were to be judged by their appearance. All the cars and people passing, good or not, even had one, they had come each to a destiny. I knew all and ruled conclusively, and every wish that I made came true because it was set up through that way. I ruled, in conclusion, from the inside of my home to be their brave king. I was set up to be their ruler. By the help of giving to others, I saw that every wish that I had made became true. I was to be their king. I was set up to be their ruler, as in a tale, for a week. There where Queen Elizabeth is your mother, and you return to your home on an island in glory with parades for your help you give to others who are present and absent, is the place called Warm Milk, and it is definitely a patient and secret mock government monarchical political system. One day it is in the afterlife that for the new help you give to others, if you go to Warm Milk, that you go there permanently. Strange Warm Milk becomes a very good place. It is a very good place. It so happened that overnight and day, for the help you give and your beautiful niceness, that you are to be appreciated. It is a very good place. Warm Milk. I find that we have good memories, and now I am reminded of my well-rounded Merkabah experience. I found, O God, blessed be He, that after it happened, and after I was back to my old self, I was lucky. And that year and season I married my 30 invisible angel wives, whom I love. We here find for others now places which we know are good for others during their next new life. Certain others who go to Warm Milk often like the place of my own well-rounded Merkabah experience. In your wait, if you are lucky and kind, Queen Elizabeth will, in that world, be your mom. If you are lucky, you may remember too, as an intimation, as I may have over many months remembered the secret hiding places of rising things. If you lucky and good to that special shining place, one day maybe in conclusion you will go to and visit Warm Milk. The end.